The movie opens up in Seoul, Korea, with a business advertisement for the Typhoon Trading Company. The video introduces the CEO of Typhoon Trading, Mr. Kang Tae-poong. The company has lasted in the competitive import business for the last 26 years. They introduce the typewriter, the manager as Mr. Go Ma-jin, the assistant manager as Bae Sung-young. The advert ends with the spokesperson saying that the Typhoon Trading is redefining the business sector and has major positive impacts on the country's economy. Later that evening, the same reporter interviewed a young man. He referred to them as the Orange Tribe, but they told him you cannot put a tag on youth. The crew walked into a club, and for a minute, everything froze. It seems they are quite popular. All the girls in the club lined up to watch them walk in. The crew is made up of dancers, and they gave a stunning performance at the club. After the performance, the team lead Kang Tae-poong was walking, but his focus was on his phone as he was getting many love messages. Because of this distractions, he walked into the wrong room. As soon as he walked in, the girl with his rival ran up and hugged him. She was ready to leave with him. This annoyed the rival gang leader Lee Jun, and he threw a glass at him. Tae-poong was so calm about all these. He apologized for disturbing his party, and was about to leave. When Lee Jun saw that he could not get a rise out of him, he passed his aggression onto the waiter, slapping and beating him like a child. This annoyed Tae-poong, and he ordered the rival gang leader to stop, but he didn't. Instead, he smashed his head with a stool. He really wanted a fight. Blood began to drip from the head of Tae-poong. However, he still kept his cool, until he looked at his clothes stained with blood. His expensive clothes. They hit back with force and the rival fell on the table. They had a crazy fight and his friend was there to back him up. They fought till everyone was wounded. Later that night, their parents were called by the police. The club wanted to press charges for destruction of property. When their mother came, they were emotional and scared of their son's health. But Tae-poong's father was less concerned. He said it was a good opportunity for them to learn about life. Tae-poong's father is the CEO of Typhoon Trading Company. Meanwhile, the rival gang leader's father already sorted. We immediately noticed that the two fathers knew each other before. Mr. Kang was bowing and making gestures that infer that he is just a boy to the other father. He walked him out and even opened his door for him. Mr. Kang was angry and called his son a worthless and stupid child for not apologizing. Tae-poong just looked at his father and said, "If you're done talking, I need some money to buy stuff." This annoyed his father and he angrily slapped him. Tae-poong silently walked away from his parents and went home. The next morning, Tae-poong picked some garden flowers and headed home. While waiting on the train, he was sleepy and mistakenly fell on a lady. He quickly apologized and stepped back. When they got into the train, he had a long and soulful eye contact with the lady, but she was scared to look at him. There was tension. Her name is Mi-seon. SJE works for his father, but they didn't know. In the next few hours, his father saw him sleeping on the bed, on his way to work, and said he wishes he had a job. That morning, his friend called him to be on a talk show with him. The show is for single people finding love. When he introduced himself, all the women fell for him. He went there and had a time of his life, singing and dancing. Meanwhile, at Typhoon Trading Company, business is going very well. Mr. Kang handed out a bonus for all the members of the staff. They got a big contract, but he was scared to take it up. The disadvantages outweighs the advantages. The CEO was in a dilemma. Should he take the opportunity or not? He asks for advice from Mi-seon, and she suggested that he should not carry out. It may crash the whole company. At the end, the CEO decided to make the purchase ABD sign the documents. Later that night, Lee Jun met Tae-poong and made fun of him for being on the morning show. Rim was angry and asked him why he went to look for a partner while he is always rejecting her proposal to date him. She suddenly left Hyun and stayed with Tae-poong. This annoyed him and he almost hit them with his luxury car, but he changed his mind. Later that night, he found one of his close friends running away because of the financial crisis in the country. He gave him some money and told him to stay alive. The financial crisis was eating deep into companies and families. On his way home, he saw his father alone in a diner. He just looked at him from the window but couldn't go up to meet him. The next morning, Mr. Kang arrived in a very bad state. He announced that the deal has broken and he would owe salaries the next month and for a while until things normalized. You can tell that things were going rough. The moment he entered into his office, he fell on the floor and fainted. He was rushed to the hospital and put on intensive care. While Tae-poong was watching his father, he got a call from one of his friends that they were getting a bad beating, and Urim was locked in a room with them. He ran to the club to defend his friends, only for him to find out it was a fake alarm. They called him to make fun of his dad's sickness and wished him to die. While they were making fun of him, one of his friends ran in and asked him to run to the hospital for an emergency. Before he could get there, his father was dead again. "Why would you leave your father in this important time?" his mother said with tears in her eyes. At that point, the world froze for him. Nothing made sense anymore. He just stood still. His father's friends barely came along. He began to reminisce on everything and the memories Haim had with his father. He wanted to make him proud. The next day at the funeral of his father, creditors came to collect the condolence money. They dragged, but they refused to give them because it belonged to the family, not the company. The man was furious. Hyun-jun's father comes through again and dropped a fat envelope. We find out that he was at the hospital that night of the death asking questions, but Hus' movement seemed suspicious. Meanwhile, Tae-poong went to his father's office to become an employee. He decided to take responsibility for the company and repay the debt. This is weird because everyone knows he is not smart. That evening, while he was going through his father's office, he found a key to a hidden safe. When he opened it, it was filled with savings for his staff. The next day, he met Mi-seon and took her to lunch. He asked her to teach him the secret to the job and his duties at the moment. She agreed and asked him to be serious if he really wants to learn. The next morning, he follows the manager to pick up a delivery of goods. He quickly began to scan everywhere and understand what he needs to. They confirmed the goods and proceeded to deliver at the company. When they got there, everything felt odd. The company was too neat and court to be the working company it always was. The workers were wearing sweaters in the summer. Tae-poong knew something was fishy. Immediately, he stopped the cargo from reaching the port.